Hello. Welcome. You are here to fall asleep. And I want to try and bore you there with interesting facts that may or may not be interesting. Today's topic: depression and anxiety. If you're dealing with depression, if anxiety is tugging at you, or if you're somewhere in between, let's talk about it. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to be productive. Just breathe, be peaceful, stay in your rhythm. Tonight, let's explore anxiety and depression in an interesting way. Nothing dramatic, nothing clinical, not overwhelming, just with curiosity, science, maybe some trivia, some facts you may or may not know, and overall reassurance that things will be okay. You can get better. You can fall asleep. You can do it. Let's begin looking into aspects of depression. Not with the heavy descriptions you might hear in generalities, but with an honest explanation that depression isn't personal failure. It isn't weakness. It isn't laziness or being dramatic. In fact, depression is surprisingly ancient. Scientists have found descriptions of depressive symptoms going back 4,000 years. How do they know that? Clay tablets in ancient Mesopotamia. Somehow they knew what those tablets were saying. And it makes sense. Just because you're 4,000 years ago from now doesn't mean you don't have a human brain. Here's a calming little fact. Depression doesn't erase your strength, or in fact, it uses strength, because it often takes the strongest people to carry something that is so heavy and hold on to it for so long, even though it can make your world feel dimmer. Colors don't pop the same way, foods don't taste quite as good, music is just not what it should be for you. And this is brain chemistry. It's an effect of dopamine pathways and the circuits responsible for motivation and pleasure. Without that, the world can lose its sparkle. And not because you're broken, but because your mind is conserving energy. A comforting fact is that your brain is always trying to protect you, even when its methods might not make sense at the time. Did you know people with depression often dream more intensely and more frequently? Some people think, researchers that is, who have looked into this, that it's because the brain is working overtime during REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, which is where dreams happen the most intensely. That's the final phase of a sleep cycle. over time, this extra REM sleep processing emotions can make you feel stuck during the day. So you may feel in a negative way during the day because of what your brain was doing and processing the previous evening. That may or may not make you feel better, but it's something to think about. Even in sleep, your mind is trying to heal you. So right now, as you rest, your brain is continually doing that, quietly supporting you, even if you don't feel it. Because its job is to heal the mind and the body. Which leads to the correlating neighboring topic of anxiety, which is essentially the overworking, trying too hard, thinking too much, overanalyzing situations, analysis paralysis. It's a constant buzzing and racing. It's almost like there's the opposite of calm. And there's a deep internal dread. And anxiety it's not your mind malfunctioning. It's your survival instincts turned up too high. So in evolution, humans developed anxiety long before we developed language. Our distant ancestors, thousands of generations ago, relied on anxiety for survival because that sudden what if feeling, which correlates with, excitement, heart beating a bit faster, adrenaline, those are warning signs for your system to help you survive against predators, storms, any kind of danger. The problem is your brain can't tell the difference between a charging rhinoceros versus some email that you're concerned about. It's just a concern on the very, very primitive level of that thinking. And that manifests into changes in your body, in your brain. But that's natural. So when your anxiety spikes, it's not your mind betraying you, it's protecting you, but it's doing it a little bit too aggressively. The same hormone involved in anxiety, adrenaline, we also experience it when we're excited. And they're both release, both of those fear and excitement is adrenaline coming out. Your body literally uses the same chemistry, and if you manifest that as worry by default, it will just continue this roller coaster of emotions. One way to overcome that is to be self-aware of that. Think about your mind and your body in conjunction. Because anxiety makes your brain faster. And a lot of people, this is why they can't sleep. This is why they can't relax or be calm. It's because you're just thought to thought to thought. And people with anxiety often notice patterns quicker, react sooner, and think deeper than the average person. That's from that overanalysis. And your brain is not too much in the sense that you should feel something's wrong. It's just being powerful, but it's also tired. You can't run on a treadmill forever. You need to rest. And there's a connection in psychology and chemistry and science between depression and anxiety. Even when anxiety seems like we just said, fast thoughts, depression seems to be the opposite. Slowing, but sad. Many people experience both together. And it's like a heavy weight pulling you down for depression, but it's like electric nervousness pushing you forward with anxiety. So you're being pulled in two directions at the same time. And what's fascinating is the brain networks involved in depression and anxiety overlap a lot. It's like having two apps on your phone on the same operating system that use the same memory and the same processors. So that is a lot for your mind to be dealing with. Again, in an effort to reduce these two separate psychological entities, pay attention to them. Notice how your emotions react, or how your reactions cause your emotions. The brain running both depression and anxiety essentially means that it's adaptable and flexible and capable of switching those modes, even if that makes it tired. It's like a very strong computer. People who have both conditions often have incredibly vivid imaginations. Your ability to imagine the worst case scenario is the same ability that can fuel creativity, innovation, and deep emotional understanding. But that is where the fork of thought lies. You have this energy, and you take something in your world, in your surroundings, and you'll react to it. But the fork in the road there is, am I going to let this negatively affect me, ignore it, or turn it into a positive? And this happens thousands of times a day. You walk down the street, you're reacting to everything, whether you know it or not. What you see, the people around, the noises. Every emotion you feel is a combination of neurotransmitters, hormones, electrical signals, and memories. There's nothing made up about those feelings. They're chemical, they're biological, they're real. The brain has over 86 billion neurons. But emotions rely heavily on small groups of them communicating intensely. We can rewire our brains if we focus, if we practice, like anything. It's not like you have a life sentence of this. You may be chemically predisposed to be in this way of thinking more than others, But again, effort, practice, awareness, your anxiety can be reduced. Your depression can be overcome. It may not be an all or nothing solution, but you can do it over time and improve and get stronger. The brain uses the same pain circuits for emotional pain as it does for physical pain. That's why heartbreak or a depressive episode can literally hurt. Every time you feel an emotion, even difficult ones, your brain slightly rewires itself. That is neuroplasticity. The ability to change, adapt, heal, regrow, grow. You're not stuck. Remember that. Even listening to this right now is gently shaping your brain. There's an area of the brain responsible for self-compassion in the same area that lights up when you comfort someone else. You already have the circuitry for kindness built into you. You just need to turn it inward. Tonight, let that be the first time you try it. And if it's not the first time you try, great. Keep trying. Be calm. You can do it. Assuming you're listening at night, you might wonder why depression and anxiety feel heavier after dark. There are scientific reasons. There's a stress hormone, cortisol, that naturally rises at night. Your brain reviews unresolved thoughts from the day. Your body tries to wind down, but your mind sometimes speeds up. Humans evolved to worry at night as a survival strategy. In ancient civilizations, people often slept in 2 shifts. They'd sleep for 4 hours, wake up for an hour or 2, then sleep again. During that middle of the night period, people would think deeply, pray, journal, or just stay in bed. So midnight overthink has existed for thousands of years. So if you're struggling tonight, right now, know that you're not broken, you're human, you're doing and thinking just as our lineage and ancestors have. There's some things you can do on a daily basis that can help you, especially if you're feeling anxious or want to get out of a rut. Breathing techniques are an excellent way to start. Four, 7, 8 breathing is a method where you breathe in for 4 seconds, counting slowly. Hold your breath for 7, counting at the same speed. And then a long, slow 8-second release. This will slow your heart rate and relax the vagus nerve. And that nerve tells your body it's safe. So you're essentially communicating to yourself through breathing. Another tool people use to calm themselves is to look around their room and name items, usually in threes. If you look around the room, identify 3 natural objects: a lamp, a pillow, a blanket, and just think about them slowly. It calms the body, believe it or not. Just doing that. Remember to give yourself permission to rest. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to rest without earning it. Some thoughts that can help to fall asleep. You survived every difficult day you've ever had. Your brain is doing its best. Your mind deserves gentleness. You don't need all the answers tonight. You are not behind in life. You are not a burden. You are not alone. When you drift into sleep, your brain continues to listen for a few minutes. Even if you feel broken, you are repairable. Even if you feel lost, you're on your way somewhere meaningful. And even if you feel alone, you are connected to a world full of people who understand this feeling. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is not to be strong. Your job is to rest. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Feel your body sinking just a little deeper into the bed. The weight of the blanket comforts you. Let the softness of the pillow support you. Let your muscles melt one by one. You are safe here. You are allowed to let go. If sleep arrives soon, let it come. If your mind drifts away from my words, that's okay too. That means it's working. This moment is yours. This quiet space. This gentle pause in time. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. Thank you for taking care of yourself in this small but meaningful way. And now you can drift slowly into the calm that's been waiting for you. Good night.